That's amazing. I've never thought of it that way. And I think it's super important to answer those questions that you had mentioned, right? It's like, what is the need? How are you meeting the need? What is your solutioning?
You go up, I can't make a move. I go fast, I don't know the truth. Real life strikes, what you and you out. Was that life was easy? Knew that you would need me.
I come from a very similar experience where there hasn't been. I don't come from a family of creatives. My mom, she's worked in corporates, and my dad also, he was more in the IT space. So I think for me, it was a little bit weird when I came home and I told them, look, I've done and I've studied this degree, I've graduated, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow my passion. I'm going to follow my creative ability and follow what I enjoy doing and see where it takes me. And I think that was my parents have been very supportive of me, but I do think there was an element of fear that was involved when I had told them that that was the decision that I had made. And I think still to this day, I still experience certain situations where I feel like there's an element of fear that comes from my parents in terms of the career path that I've chosen, because it is in the more creative space. And I think generally there's this perception that if you're going to go the creative route, you're going to find it difficult, you're going to struggle financially, things aren't going to be stable, etc., etc. Was that something that you had experienced with your parents? And if so, through that experience, I mean, being where you are today, where things have worked out and you've managed to find yourself in a situation where you aren't homeless, where you're not struggling, how did you navigate that? How did you navigate that if that was the experience that you had with your family?
Firstly, I think it's very important that you are clear about your choice making. Secondly, I needed to explain, particularly to my mother, that creativity is not the ability to draw a cat.
Mm,
Creativity is a unique form of problem solving. And here is the problem in the world, Ma. Take a look at this advert. Do you
mm,
know a lady who is your age who goes around stamping on cockroaches? No, I don't. So, therefore, that is what I want to be able to change. I want to be able to have people on your TV screen who look and may even look like your age, but being shown in a much more respectful light. So I was able to make it a lot more immediate by making her watch some ads with me, and the ads that bothered her gave me an opportunity to then say to her, this is what I want to work to fix.
mm. So, am I correct in saying that you were able to explain the value of what you did
Yeah.
to your family, and they understood that in a way where they could understand why you were doing what you're doing and were able to support you in what you're doing?
Yes. One is demonstrate the need, two,
Mm,
illustrate the value, and three, show the benefit for society. Because I mean, I was raised by a mother who's very clear around self-reliance, but also around collaboration and charity. So in our home, it was always important that you did things more than just yourself. So when I was able
mm,
to demonstrate that when we alter the images that young kids see, particularly kids who come home and are alone until their parents come back from work, they have an opportunity to see images of themselves that are incredibly uplifting and not necessarily reinforcing negative stereotypes. So for me, being able to just sit with her and walk her through examples of adverts was really helpful because it made the need for my intervention a lot more immediate, and it helped her
mm.
understand why.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I've never thought of it that way. And I think it's super important to answer those questions that you had mentioned, right? It's like, what is the need? How are you meeting the need? What is your solutioning? Um, I think it's really important to ask yourself those questions, because I think what I see in the creative space, and when I say see, the first place that I saw it was myself.
Mm.
And what I saw within me when I had initially started this journey is, no, this is my passion. This is what I enjoy. This is what I want to do. And I think it comes from a very self-centered place. And what I learned over the first 2 years of being on this journey of entrepreneurship in the creative space is that when you are working on something, you can't enter the space from the perspective of you and what you want to get out of it. Because the moment you do that, you're going to find it very difficult to find clients, because clients aren't going to pay you to do what you want to do. That's not really how the world works. And especially in business as well, it's about what you can do for the person that you're speaking to or that you're working with. And I think a lot of creatives, they understand their passion and they're really good at their craft, but they're kind of creating for themselves. And I think that's good. I think you can create for yourself as a form of expression. But you also need to realize at the end of the day that if this is something that you want to do on a consistent basis, if this is something that you want to do as your job, you need to make money from it. And the moment someone is paying you to make some sort of work or to work on a project, that project is not your project. It becomes a collaboration between you and the person that you're working with. So I think that's very important, is being able to answer those questions. It puts you in a space where you have to figure out your why. Like, why are you creating what you're creating? And your answer cannot be you. If you're getting paid for it. I mean, if you get to the point where you have enough money to relax and you have a lot of free time on your hand, or if you have a job and you want to do it as a hobby, then yes, by all means, go and create that work. But if you want to be able to monetize and commercialize it, you have to realize that you're not creating solely for yourself. And I think asking those questions really helps.